Only 7,230 pounds, a little 24 RDS. Couples Camping Cougar coming in here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This, like its kind of small sister, the 23 MLS, is far more half-ton towable than a lot of these, quote, half-ton fifth wheels typically are due to its smaller size, lighter weight, and more manageable hitch weight against your truck's payload capacity. Quick peek at her all closed up in travel mode. Very similar to its kind of the offset version of this, the 23 MLS Cougar you find here at Haylett RV. When the slide's closed, you will not access the bedroom or bathroom. You will need to bump the slide open for that. Now, for some people, that's a big deal. For some people, it is not. You know, that's why we carry all these different things. You see that you have full, easy access to your kitchen. Theoretically, you could stop and even enjoy your entertainment here. There's plenty of room to stop and make a sandwich in this one. But one of the cool things about this, if you are traveling and you just absolutely have to stop and rub the sleep out of your eyes and you cannot open the slide to get to it, well, one of the cool things about having an 8-foot wide mega dinette on the back of this thing is that you definitely have enough length for an adult sleeping space right here. And despite being physically small, this one has a surprisingly comfortable, spacious kind of layout, look and feel. It's just very warm, welcoming, very comfortable, cool for just a couple people, or if you're going to have some friends over for entertaining. And full rear kind of mega dinettes like this, that is a rare find in the RV business. We did outfit this one with a heat massage theater seat directly across from that entertainment center, and that TV can pivot around. You'll see that in a little bit. So if you want to be able to watch from the theater, like we're seeing currently, you're good. If you want to be able to watch from that mega dinette, you have some friends over, you're, entertaining grandkids or just, Super Bowl party or anything, you're good. You might have noticed how suddenly it got a little dimmer over there. That's because there's an automatic motion sense light just above the entry door that you can use in just either, normal light on off mode or motion mode. And what's cool about this is, like, when you're gone, when you're outside, you don't want the lights on inside because then bugs gather by the door and the windows and you don't want to be eating gnats when you're walking in and out. You don't want to let them in your camper. So right as you come home, it's a welcome backlight. It kicks right on when you need it. You'll see more of that in the pass-through compartment. And notice the window coverage on this. So you've got a nice set of good kitchen windows, giving us breeze, giving us views of our campsite. The main entry door has viewing windows, plus, since this is a full U-dinette, this is bigger than a rear wall sofa. They had to leave more room behind the slide out to accommodate this. And when they did that, it organically created more wall space where you could have things like bigger windows. So this thing has awesome views, awesome visibility, awesome airflow. Everything in here, it's like you got awesome. It's just awesome. That's what I'm getting. I think you get the idea. It's awesome by now. I think I've worn that one out enough. For some reason, that word just got stuck in my head. I will try awesomely hard to not say it again. Too late. On the rear wall, you can see a set of outlets and USB plugs right on the rear wall. Very handy around that dinette for keeping stuff charged up. And again, this is a full, 8-foot mega dinette, basically. That'll fold down into a big sleeper. And there's storage all the way under it. Something else that's very cool about this, whoops, I almost slipped right here. I'm wearing new shoes today, and they're a little bit bigger and clumpier than I'm used to. If that's not a word, it is now. Neither here nor there. Bottom line, I'm tripping everywhere. Taking a look at the sleeping space, you see how this folds down into a big area, but the theater seat over here, normally there'd be a hide-a-bed, but the theater seat can actually still function as something of a sleeper. If nothing else, it's a great little place to kick your feet up during the day. Now, there's a light switch in the slide box right next to that window right there, and that is for the lights overhead in the slide. And that's cool enough, but it's actually a dimmer switch. So if you want to dim those down and get a little bit of what I call stealth mode lighting, you can. USB plugs over here, basically like beside the refrigerator, plus there's USB plugs right in that little silver switch that's on either side of those theater seats. That's where you control your heat and massage. It's still a manual recline, but it does have room. There's USB plugs in either of those. Super handy for someone like me who's basically constantly filling with their phone. I'm always making memes and texting my friends, and they're probably rolling their eyes. And they're, at this point, I think they have a default just like, yeah, LOL response, like, okay, yeah, funny. All right, leave me alone. It's Sunday. But anyway, enough about my life. 8 cubic foot fridge over here, but big pantry beside it. And this is where we start to see some pretty good, not just good capacity, but easy access kitchen storage. And starting again with that pantry, it is as deep as the fridge, basically, which means you've got yourself some pretty hefty storage capacity there. As we swing up and around the kitchen area here, all pocket screw cabinetry, hardwood cabinet door frames. That's pretty common in fifth wheel construction, though very few brands don't match that. What I do like, though, is the double backsplashes, one behind the sink, one behind the stove. And that's not just wallpaper, that is a real backsplash with easy reach outlets, high-rise sprayer faucet, and there is a stainless sink below these, cutting board style and dish drainer style sink covers right there. Down below, a nice big place for a wastebasket if you're so inclined. I think that's a perfect place for one of those, frankly. And that's a larger 22-inch oven, not a 16-inch oven. That's an easy thing to miss. Plywood drawers down to the floor over here. Electric space heating fireplace. Again, kind of directly across from the entertainment, but look at the buffet size prep space that we have. This has, I think this model, despite being more of a rear living room focus, actually has more countertop space than the 23 MLS, which is a rear kitchen model. And as I mentioned before, the TV can pivot around for easy viewing. Try not to be blinded by the reflection of my bald head in that thing. Holy cow. But over here we have a rain command system. Now this is cool. I like to see the technology that's coming into the RV business. It's telling me, yes, my battery's low. Yes, I know that. But things like your lights, you can control all those right here. Your heating, your cooling, your slides, your awnings, anything that you can do on this panel, you could also do right off your phone. But you don't have to use the panel to turn the lights off and on. Because if you're coming from upstairs and it's dark, there's a light switch on the wall right there, which will control the exact same ceiling lights. And similarly, there's a dedicated light switch in the bedroom just for the bedroom lights. So you don't constantly have to be trekking up and downstairs just to flick a light switch. Then again, you could always just do it right from your phone too. Now, if you've seen our video on, I keep referencing this other Cougar, the 23 MLS. If you've seen that, then you've already seen the upper deck. They have an identical upper deck. The only thing that changes, they just kind of switch around, flip around the living room and the kitchen. But if you haven't seen that, I did still want to give you the opportunity to look at this. There's a couple key things here. You might have noticed that porcelain foot flush stool. Now, pardon the antifreeze on the floor. This RV just came in from the factory. It is chilly right now. And naturally, here in the Midwest, when it's cold, they winterize the camper before it gets shipped. But you notice you have an easy step in there, that corner seat, and a clear shower door, plus a cool accented kind of marbled looking print on the shower surround paneling. The clear door makes it look bigger, and the marbling makes it look better. And it's funny how simple that is, and how much of a nice, comfortable visual impact that really provides. Now, you saw in the kitchen, we had all sealed edge countertops. You actually see that trend continued up here around that very large sink fixture. Sliding past our privacy door, you notice there's no super duper ankle breaker step of death. The bed does lift. That is a 60 by 80 queen bed with storage below that. And you've got these big wide open side stands. If you are a CPAP user or you just don't like to feel enclosed and claustrophobic in your camper, the way the Cougar's done their beds, I think you're going to like it. But there's household and USB plugs on both sides, which I like, and I'm not a CPAP user. I'll talk about this more on the roof, but it is 50 amp service standard, so it's second air ready standard, and that vent up there is where you would install, although you could very easily repurpose that for something like a power ceiling vent fan. But check out this huge window over here on the camp side of the RV. Naturally, there's a privacy shade right there, but fact is, it's nice that you have that excellent views and visibility. Now, if you're really paying attention, one of the questions I get, people go, what's that little black thing? What's that thing? That is a thermal probe. That talks to the in-command system and tells it, how hot or cold it is. That's how your phone can control that. And like I said, you don't have to use in-command to operate the lights. There is still just a switch on the wall, and you can obviously see the TV hookups over there. Now, if I spin you around like a record, baby, over here, you can see that closet storage slide. And those big mirror doors, they help the whole room look and feel larger. But what's great is there's still tons of storage in there. You're getting a good look at my chicken legs. Lucky you! And I really like a little touch they just put in. This is something I didn't even know was happening until this RV showed up. So, first of all, you've got plenty of hanging closet space there. But by extending that slide down, you've got plenty of room here for some big dresser drawers. But instead of just seeing raw plywood faces, They actually put some, you know, wood tone matching panels on the front of that. And it gives it a very nice, like, hand feel. When you grab a hold of it with your hand, you're not really feeling a lot of that raw plywood. And it just looks better. And if they're paying that kind of attention inside of a closet, imagine what else they're doing that you're not seeing. And it's all going to be good. The amount of pass-through capacity space, the belly space on this thing is just darn impressive. It's one of the things they did very well here. You know, there's plenty of room for cargo without having to like smash stuff up against your in-command system that you see over here. This is kind of like the, you know, the central processing unit of the RV, if you will. It also has a different total style of fuse and wiring system. Keystone was the first towable RV manufacturer to fully color code all their wiring. You see more of that motion lighting like we saw inside. 12-volt tank heater switches on the upper left, TV hookups on the bottom left. And they just really open it up in here. It's almost got the same size storage basement space as like a big Cougar. But what's cool, another quality that it actually fully shares with Big Cougar is the warranty. This having a full-time RV warranty. That's a quality very often associated with bigger RVs, but you know, that association is rather arbitrary. There's nothing that says big RVs are the only ones that should or could get a full-time RV warranty. This is an example of something that is a lot smaller and more towable getting that same treatment. Another nice thing here, this shares in conjunction with the Big Cougars, is the road armor suspension and pin box package. The rubber shock dampening that you see up here, that will do wonders toward keeping this thing you know, less bouncy and jouncy while you're in transit. It takes a lot of those shocks and jolts out of the way. Another thing that is very cool, especially considering its small size, usually, general rule of thumb in the RV business, and it does vary from region to region, but if an RV has just a closet slide like this, you usually find it with only power stabilizer jacks. Cougar said, forget that. We're going to go standard auto leveling across the board. And they worked something out with their suppliers to really minimize the cost of that. And I think that's why most smaller fifth wheels don't usually have auto leveling. It's harder to absorb and justify the cost of a very expensive item on a smaller coach. Well, when Cougar went to bat for you with their buying power and standardized it on all of the Cougar fifth wheels, which is one of the highest volume series of fifth wheels ever created in history, they were really able to minimize the cost vector on that and make it very affordable, basically. You can see the all-enclosed heated protected docking center. This is 0 degree proven and functional. When they added the 12-volt tank heaters, they did some other things like radiant barriers, and they improved the way that they're handling their heat and plumbing runs so that this can achieve 0 degree functionality basically indefinitely. You know, if it's really cold for a really long time, Cougars don't freeze up, and we've had customers buy from Haylett RV that have proven that over the last couple of years, full-timing here in Michigan, even in the winter. There's a couple other really nice things they've done here that are very easy to miss. So in addition to that full automatic leveling system, right behind the 2-inch rear hitch, which is another of the cool things they've done we're going to talk about, they actually have a sewer hose caddy so that you can keep your old stinky slinky away from everything else. Reverse lighting in the tails, but they've revised their hitching scenario. So it's come to my attention that, like, Jayco Eagles have a 3,000-pound towing hitch with a 300-pound vertical load limit. They have towing hooks so that you can tow behind this fifth wheel in a 4-way wiring harness. Well, it turns out Cougar was doing basically all the exact same structural things. They just didn't run the 4-way wiring plug, and they weren't including the hooks for the safety chains. Guess what they're doing now? All those things now. Especially considering the shorter length and lighter weight of this RV, if you are looking to put a boat behind this or a little enclosed trailer, this is a fantastic rig for doing some, it's called recreational doubles towing. And there's some areas that's legal, there's some it's not. Most places it is in a fifth wheel, and there's only, I think, 2 states where it's even legal on a trailer. Usually trailers you can't tow behind. Couple other quick notes before we go upstairs. Put the biggest power awning they could on this, and you can remote control that on your phone thanks to the in-command system, which is pretty darn handy. Up top here, a couple things to talk about. It's especially easy this time of year, but in general, most clients want to know how cold camp rated is that RV. Well, again, Cougars are cold camp rated. But the thing is, they have actually geared themselves to being one of the best hot camp rated fifth wheels available in this class. So if we take a look at this other Cougar over here, same generation, same equipment package, you see that nice light skin? That is going to drastically reduce the amount of heat that this RV generates just from simple sun exposure. Now when they match that up with the matching polar white ceiling liner and the radiant barrier package pretty much all the way around the roof and the belly of this thing, it really does a good job of heating and cooling, especially when you've got a standard 15,000 BTU air here. On something this size, someone's going to argue to the contrary. I cannot imagine. There should be no reason why people in virtually any climate need a second air. But if you want it, you could install it on this. Now the cool thing here, it has a side solar prep plug, but you see, you've got the top three like chimney caps there. Then there's that bottom guy. That is your roof solar prep plug with just a ton of blank canvas in which you can go solar crazy on this thing. And these are all pre-wired for that. There's a location in the pass-through compartment where you can mount your charge controller, and that will tap into potential inverted, like if you want to add an inverter, you can have live powered outlets, one in the bedroom, one in the kitchen, and one for your TV. And it is very, very similar to how a big old full-time live-in Montana is wired. And that's because Cougar, Montana, although they're both Keystones, they're technically separate camps, but they really work with one another. And oh my good gravy, the wind just picked up like crazy up here. I'm gonna get off this roof so I don't get blown off this thing like Mary Poppins. I don't think I would land as smoothly as her. She's practically perfect in every way, and I'm just one nerdy boy with a camera. So I'm gonna wrap things up here. If you like what you see, you like what you hear, all I ask, and I don't care where you live, is you just give our team the fair opportunity to earn your business in return for our efforts today. That's all I ask, and I think that's fair. So take care, stay safe, have fun, happy camping everyone, and remember, we don't do the hidden dealer fees. We leave those to the big box stores.